Daddy likey. Finally done. The job is excruciating. Okay, I've about decided. I hate the waste material, so initially I kind of had this idea, but I didn't like it. I was trying to find a way to not do it this way, but I think we're just going to have to make another copy of that top, basically, and then cut the blank out of that, so we just have the two wings with the parts of the curve that they're supposed to have. I really want those lines to line up where the transition is on the front horn or the bottom horn and at the back. I think the next thing we need to do is figure out where a brake angle is and get that cut, so that we can fit the top, and the top will be our guide for how the back gets fitted. So I already have a template for this Tune-o-matic, so I could sync it pretty easy. I generally want it to sit just a little above where it needs to be, really. And looking at this guy, we are almost, we're a 1/16 shy of 3/4 of an inch. So generally in the past I've figured 3/4 of an inch is probably pretty accurate, and it's pretty close. I mean, it's within like a 1/16. However, I don't really want it to sit quite that high. Maybe I should already know this, but I don't know I don't know the measurement from the top of the frets to the top of the string, or the bottom of the string. It's probably, I'm guessing, in the somewhere between a 1/16 and an 1/8. Alright, well anyway, I got a straight edge at the top of the frets, and I know my, this is 24 3/4 right here. So it's pretty close to where the bridge is going to wind up going. So I can put a straight edge where an inch mark is right at the top of the frets, and then measure down from there. 11/16. However, Now that I talked about adding string height, or where the strings really need to be for the saddle to be right, we actually need to be a little bit higher. So 3/4 of an inch minus a tick puts us more like right there. Now, this is my sanding block, but it doesn't matter. I want the top wing to meet in the neighborhood of, say, the 16th. So, if I put this to where we hit the bottom of the binding right at 16th, right there, and place this where it should go about right there. Then I believe that's where we want our top to sink to. I had already drawn a couple lines and I don't like them. So I think that's where we want the surface of the top to actually wind up being. Now, this cut really needs to be square to the top, not the neck. So, here's my protractor. Alright, now I already know our top is like 7/8 thick. However, now would be a great time to check that. It is a tiny bit more than 7/8. Fat ass top. So 7/8 plus an 80 bit gives us something like that. So we really actually need to cut all of this away so that at the scale length the top will sit to where the top of the top puts the bridge just shy of 3/4 of an inch above, which leaves us about 7/8. Okay, so that is kind of what we need to do. However, I need to do all that over again just to double check and make sure I come up with the same answer. Place a piece of paper up against the end of the fretboard, and these along the line of the neck, which, you know, the paper edge is so incredibly accurate. It took me a while to realize in certain situations, if you can use a piece of tape instead of trying to draw a line, you have an absolute edge to work from. There. And just like that, we have a laser quality template for that neck pocket. Now, if you cut a piece of wood exactly to this paper, it's going to be too tight. But, I mean, this is a perfect, accurate representation of what we're looking for. So, as a template to draw something out, oh my god, so stupid simple. Mark my center lines. We did this on the other guitar, and the top fits so perfect, and it is absolutely, completely and totally centered. Okay, we want to meet the top wing to meet the neck at about the 16th fret, so I need to mark the 16th fret. So right about there, we want the 16th. Center point. I'm almost too long over here. I can't see my center point. And it's going to be on wing gaze, so it'll be a pain in the ass to see anyway. Wing gaze can be such a pain in the ass. Okay. So and that should be retarded accurate. You know, normally when we do this, the wings go on. They'll usually get routed and shaped before, before they actually get mounted. So once you've got them on, that's your body shape, and you want the top to overlap that everywhere so you can route to it. It kind of looks like we might be going backwards this time. Now luckily when it comes to doing this part, unless I'm thinking wrong, I think when we clean up this end of the pocket, we'll just put angle into it and it should slide on and fit right. I don't see why it wouldn't. But I am kind of dumb sometimes, so I don't know. One little thing, it exposed a crack here that it's kind of hard to tell how far it goes, but it looks like it comes in a little ways, and it's all the way through, so that's not going to carve away. Once everything's together and we do have it carved, then we will probably just fill that little crack with some epoxy. I would like to cut the pocket now, and I'm scared to do that. It's a big step. And really, to do that, we kind of need, we're gonna want the cutaway taken so we can actually fit this. Before I make some catastrophically stupid idea, let me walk through this one more time out loud just so I can hear it. And I'll have one last chance to say, that doesn't make sense. And that puts us right here. Okay, I have looked multiple times now and come up with the same answer, so I put the blank on top of the top, on the top, lined up with centers, so I can see that. Alright, the top wing is actually going to be hitting somewhere around here. Not 16, but more like 18. No biggie, who cares? But the end of the fretboard will be just beyond the bottom cutaway. So I think that is probably the better, it's probably a good place. So I've got a line for where the neck blank actually sits. Okay, so fairly terrifying, but we can go ahead and cut in here and then start working it down. It will eventually sit a little lower, but it's fitted. Whew. I was so nervous about that. Okay, now I guess we need some wings. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time.